Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to set up your database in your cPanel. So go to cPanel and go to where are we? MySQL databases. Now this may be different depending on your cPanel. So first of all you need to create a database and make a note of the name, and the name, as you can see here, has got a prefix been added by the system. So create the database, and then you need to add a user to the database. So we'll call it the same and give it a password. You can generate the password. I suggest you use just letters and numbers. So we've got the password there, so we're going to make a note of that, and we will paste that in here so we've got a copy of it. Okay, so we create the password, create the user, and once we've created the user we then need to add the user to the database. So we're going to add the user to the database, add, and we give it all privileges, make changes. Okay, so now we've set up our database. So now we need to decide where we're going to put it on our website. So we go to an FTP client and log into your website, and in this case we're going to put it in a subfolder of our main site, and we're going to put it into blog V4. So we create the folder, as you can see. So we have an empty folder. So then we go to the project folder, files folder in your package, and you select everything in there and upload that to your server. Now this will take some time, as there's nearly 1,000 files to update. So we'll just skip that or we'll let that carry on, and then we'll come back to it in a second. Okay, so our files are almost there, just got a few to go. And we can now, once that's got there, okay, so now we go to where we upload our files to, and we browse to that folder and add setup on the end. And we will get the setup page. So we enter our registration code and click continue. We'll then check the license, and it's been accepted, and so we'll now continue. Okay, so license key was accepted. So now we continue to the system settings. So we put in the site URL, which we know is that bit there. And don't forget the backslash on the end. Then the name of our site, the site email, and that must be an email on the domain name. Localhost is where your database will be. Some servers you may need to put something different in there, but it's usually localhost. Then the database name, This was what we set up just a few minutes ago, and the database username, and the database password, which if you remember, we pasted here. Okay, so now we test the connection, and the connection was okay. So click OK and write the file and continue. Okay, so the file has been written successfully, so now we can continue to write the database tables, and they've been created successfully. Let's just get rid of that. As you can see, everything is success. If there are any failed, they will be in red, and you'll need to contact the support. Okay, so click continue. Everything is complete, so now we can go and log in and test the system. So we log in with admin and the default password. Okay, so now we come to the admin page, and here we can add other users, edit users, and modify the system settings. So if we go to the system settings, you can see you can change the logo for the emails. You can change the email address to send emails from, and you can change the language of the editor into any of those different languages, and you can change the language of the spell checker into any of those languages. And then you can set the number of posts to show per page on the main blog, the number of latest posts to show on the blog page on the right hand side, a number of posts to show in the summary page, and to display the dates in whatever format that you want the date displayed in. And if you change those, you will just see, if we go there, you will just get confirmation that's been updated. Okay, so that's the system settings. There's the admin user, as that's the only user at the moment, and if we want to create a user, we can create a new user here. Okay, then we can go to the add and edit post. So if we go to add post, and you'll get a screen to add a post. So you give the post a title, and what category you want to put it in. And at this moment in time, we've only got one category because we haven't added any new categories. But then you enter your post in here, and you can change the fonts. So you can pick the fonts, and there's a couple of extras there. There's Railway. Now Railway will not display correctly immediately. You will need to, if you just go to source and then back, then it will change. It's just a little bug in the editor, but as you'll see, the font does take effect. And then you can do what you want with it. You can bold it, center it, change the style and the font size, and then you can put your text in, whatever text you want to put in. Whoops, let's go back. Pressed the wrong button there, didn't I? This is a test post. So let's change that to Railway, and we'll make it 18, and let's make that centered as well. You can then add, say, an image if you want. So let's pick an image. in English. So any images that are already on the server will be displayed here. So let's use this one. So you click the edit and click use, and then the image will come here. Then you can change the size of the image. So let's make it 350 wide. It'll automatically change the height. You can unlock the ratio if you wish, and we're going to want it. Let's put a border on it of 2 pixels. You can also put a hyperlink on it if you want to another page, and there's some advanced tabs there as well. So we'll click OK on that. Okay, so that's now into our blog. We can preview the blog if we wish, and there's the post. Okay, so in addition, you've got lots of other features here. You can do your editing full screen if you wish, with the full screen button. So you can edit your post there, and you can go back to single. There we go. And you can add other things to smileys and flash, audio files, code snippets, bullets, and so on and so forth. It's also got left to right text if you want. You can change the line height of your text as well if you wish. We're a little bit slow here at the moment. There we go. So you can make the different height for the lines. So if we now change that to 26, you'll see when we preview it, we're there. Okay, so let's just make that a little bit. Whoops. There we go. So you can see how you can change the line heights, etc. You can change the color of the UI if you want as well. So while you're working on it, if you want it to be a different color, you could change it to happy green. So you've got a nice green editor there if you want. Then you say you've got hyperlinks, you've got a spell checker, and so on and so forth. So you've got lots of options on here. Okay, so once we're happy with that, we then click save. Okay, so our post has now been added. So if we go to the blog, there we go, there's our post that's been added, and it adds the who posted it, what date and time they posted it, and you get your share links there as well. And it appears then in the latest posts on the left hand side. It also appears in the summary. Here we go, welcome to my blog posted by admin, and it takes out all images and tags so that you just get the text from the just the first so many characters of the post in the summary, and you can then click to read more, and it will just show you that one post in the window. And if we go back to the blog stream, we've then got every post will appear there, and there will be page numbers here depending on how many you've put to show on the page. Okay, so that's that bit. Now if we go back to admin, and you can see here we've got list edit posts, so you can go and edit the post if you wish. So it'll list then all your posts, and if you want to edit it or delete it, you can. And if you go to edit post, it will then come up and you can then edit the post as required. So let's go back to admin, and to add a category is very easy. You just click on manage categories, And so we've got one that's called general, and that's on at the moment. So if we put another one in, say my holidays, add category, and that's now been added, and it defaults to being switched on. Now you shouldn't switch that off if there's any already been assigned to that category, but if there's none been assigned, you can switch it off, because if we look at the blog, you'll now see that the categories, my holidays, now appears in the categories. If we go back to the admin page and switch off my holidays, you will now see that in the categories the holidays no longer appears as an optional category to pick. Okay, so let's go back again to admin, and you can change your password of course there as well. So if we go to the users home, when you add a user that's not an admin, they will only be able to see the posts that they have made. So like an admin, but admin will always be able to see all posts. But if there was another user, they wouldn't be able to see the admin post and they won't be able to edit it. They will only be able to edit their own posts. Okay, so that's it. Then if you now, obviously you won't want Rickles of Moby there or the Get It there, and you'll want to change the footer and everything here and make it look like your own site. And to do that is quite simple. All you do is, let's just come out of that, you go to Mobirise, whichever version you're using, and you just click sites, import site, and then oops, I've gone to the wrong one there. Click too low. Import site, then go to your where are we? PC. Then go to your project files, your package folder, and the project files, and select the project Mobirise, and your blog system will now open up. And you can now edit all these as you would normally do in Mobirise. Just be aware that things like here, which have got PHP code, etc. in, just be careful not to disturb any of the PHP code or change it unless you know what you're doing. Okay, and then you can change your footer and header as you wish. And then you just simply publish your site, and then upload and publish it to a folder, and then upload all those files that you've published to your host, but don't remove any of the files you uploaded earlier. Just overwrite the ones that are already there. There we go. So like the CK editor and all these files, you need to make sure they remain as is, and also some of the files that are in the root folder, because they're used for the actual system. So don't remove any of those, just simply upload all your new files to that folder. And that's it. Simple as that. Hope that made sense, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you have any queries, then by all means get plugged.